ladies and gentlemen, and that's the honey badger, and he just doesn't give a shit. He just doesn't give a shit. Oh, man. So, we're here at the magic desk. You know what it means to be here at the magic desk, and magic happens at this magic desk. Just call it Magic Rock! Yeah! The magic desk. And what we do is magic. Yes, we do. And we will be joined by the beautiful, the talented, the sexy Katie Summers. In just a minute, she was in the bathroom, and now I think she just came back. She's sitting down, and she's beautiful right now. She's beautiful. She's got a determined look on her face, because she's got a lot of news today. She's got a lot of things that I think she's very excited to share with all of us, and she's going to share it with us right now. Katie Summers.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm okay.
Why are you just okay?
I'm hungry now.
Did you eat your bar?
Not yet.
Okay. Okay. Well, all right. That's good. Anyways, what do you got for us?
There's all kinds of stuff. All kinds of craziness. There's a lot of crazy people in the world.
Really? I could have told you that.
There's a lot of crazy famous people.
Oh, I like crazy famous people.
Like Amanda Bynes.
Well, tell us about young Amanda Bynes. Tell us about the young Amanda Bynes.
She's crazy again. She was actually arrested Saturday morning at like 4 a.m. and for DUI, was taken to the Van Nuys jail and was released on a $15,000 bond like that afternoon. She violated her probation that she was set for 3 years after the last mishap when she had the last DUI in 2012? 2011?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then she flunked out of her fashion school, so she's no longer in fashion school because she did that after she got out of her conservatorship with her mom. And now she's somewhere between Hollywood and New York.
She's somewhere between Hollywood and New York.
Because during the New York Fashion Week, there's supposed to be like a documentary crew following around, like, because she's in the whole fashion thing now, you know. We'll follow you around for 2 weeks, go to the New York Fashion Week, and it's going to be so much fun. And then she, like, last minute canceled that and just kind of went off the rocker. Now she's just somewhere floating. But she's apparently smoking pot and drinking again.
Oh, that's what they say.
Yeah.
She's back, being crazy.
She's back being crazy.
Wow.
Crazy Amanda Bynes.
Amazing. Amazing. That's I don't even know what to say, because she's gonna wind up going to jail.
Yeah.
Because she violated her probation, and so in theory, if she's nowhere to be found, and it's between Hollywood and New York, she's going to be probably violating her court case here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, so she's got a ticket, or she's got a summons for that DUI. So chances are, if she's nowhere to be found, she's not going to report for this case. And the minute the DA and the judge and the people involved in the first case find out that she got arrested and violated her parole, they'll call for an arrest warrant and revoke her parole or probation, whatever the hell it is, and say we're going to put her in jail. Yep. So she's definitely fucked. And the fact that she flunked out of fashion school is kind of.
And that's the whole thing is like everyone was like, all her friends and her family was saying that she was doing really good. Like she was, healthy and got her life back on track and was doing fine. But it's like she must hang out. There must be one person she hangs out with that it's like, oh, you're back. Hello.
Yep. I was gonna say the exact same thing. She's got to have a couple people, or like you said, one. But she's got to have somebody in her life, because they say that she didn't post the $15,000 bond. Somebody bailed her out, and they say it wasn't her mom or dad.
Right.
So
that's why they're like, we have no idea where she is.
She called, somebody came and bailed her out. So yeah, she definitely is hanging with people that are like, fuck it, let's just party, let's just hang out, let's fucking just do all your money and fucking roll, baby.
That's crazy.
So yeah, so she's definitely doing something creepy and fucked up, and we'll see what happens, because nobody's got pictures of her, nobody's got anything. Don't know if she's wearing bad wigs again.
Don't know if she's even alive.
Yeah. So, all right, Amanda Bynes out in trouble again, and who knows what's gonna happen. So
now this one little story. This is a crazy person, but not a full-on famous person. It's actually George Zimmerman. George
Zimmerman, the man who shot Trayvon Martin in the point-blank range in the chest. Go ahead. Let's talk about the Zimster.
His brother Robert is trying to rebrand George, and he's like, I've been watching a lot of Keeping Up with the Kardashians, so I'm like thinking, their whole mantra is, if you got the shit, gotta go with it. So he's like, I want to maybe do like a Kardashian and a Canon camera and America's Most Wanted type thing and put it together, or rebrand him. Like they did like a 5,000 word profile of the Zimmerman family for a reality show. Yeah. And then also he's like, that doesn't work out. We can do like our own like signature line of home security companies, and they all start with the letter Z, like Z Bar and Z Ramp and Z Light and Z Space, and it's gonna be awesome. Just all to rebrand George, because he's actually a good guy.
Keeping Up with Zimmerman. That's what it would be. They just. This Zimmerman, this George Zimmerman, the family, it's like they have no clue that they weren't vigilantes. They weren't. They were not involved in something that actually has a half and half public support. It's not like he was involved where there's a debate amongst, half of America saying what he did was justified, and another half that says what he did was wrong. You have an entire population of minorities that say what he did was wrong, and then you have half of white people that say what he did was wrong. Even white people, unless they are 100% Ku Kluxers from the South, your average white person will say what he did was wrong.
Yeah.
Your average white person will say, yeah, come on, what he did was wrong. So this notion that he that he was involved in something that, you could get an executive to say, all right, we'll give it a shot, because for every person that hates him, there's somebody that likes him. Like Duck Dynasty.
Yeah.
For every Duck Dynasty controversy where you have people going, he talked bad about gays, he's a religious kook, you have people that defend him because they're religious kooks and they believe in everything George Zimmerman or Duck Dynasty believes in. So you have that. We are the God Hates Fags group, and we are pro-gay group. But you're not going to find a pro-kill unarmed black kids with Skittles and a hoodie, and don't kill unarmed black kids. You're not going to find too many people that support George Zimmerman. And they're just delusional. But, you know, that's what you get when you have this. Look at this picture of him. I mean, he's just, just look at him. He's just a jerk off. So, all right, well, God bless George Zimmerman.
So Clay Aiken is running for North Carolina's 2nd District as a Democrat. American Idol.
Yes. But now, if I recall, he originally ran against a guy that mysteriously died.
Yeah.
So, like...
And now it's like in full effect that the whole, like, he's traveling throughout North Carolina, you know, like, Christmas every day. Not that the door open up.
Hello!
No, like when the carolers, the singers.
I know, but he's going there. He's gay. He's hello.
I know. He can't be like that in a red state.
Is he like, hi, I'm Clay. I love guns.
So his whole thing is he's trying to get the vote. Even though he's in a red state, he's gay and he's a singer.
Hello? Oh, I'm sorry, I can't do that. Hi, how are you? I'm Clay.
Yes.
Alright.
So yeah, so that's Clay Aiken running for the 2nd District. Singing to people. He's like, I'm more than just a singer. It's like, dude, that was like 11 years ago. No one cares that you sing on American Idol.
And he wasn't even that successful.
He was the runner-up. The big black guy won, and the big black guy doesn't even have a fucking album. He just kind of poofed.
I know. That's why I said Clay Aiken's really not even successful. He's the most. He's
Clay Aiken.
Yeah, he's Clay Aiken. The other gay guy is way more over and popular than him.
Oh, Adam Lambert.
Adam Lambert.
Yeah. Oh, I love Adam Lambert. He's so cool.
To me, Clay Aiken was too gay. Like the world wasn't ready for Clay Aiken. Adam Lambert.
Oh, at that time, you mean?
Yeah.
Because Adam Lambert.
Yes,
came out. Like he was cool on American Idol, but after American Idol, when he has all his albums, he's like, Rocket Girl,
but,
yeah.
But see that the funny thing about American, the American psyche, they either like a really strong bear type gay guy, or a over the top Adam Lambert.
Yeah.
They don't like the Clay Aiken that's gay and you know he's like I call him a tweener gay because he's feminine looking and he's got feminine features and he talks soft and you're just like eh. The Adam Lambert he gets away with it because people go, well, he's like that because he's a singer, he's like Elton John, like Freddie Mercury. Freddie Mercury with the makeup, he could do the makeup and he could dress like a girl, and you would still have guys going, yeah, Freddie Mercury, even though he died of AIDS.
And then you have Judas Priest, who's the
Same
bear.
thing, and so Clay Aiken's like that tweener where you're like, he's not a bear, but he's not gay for the sake of his music like Clay Aiken and Freddie Mercury and the Judas Priest guy. He's just like,
the Modern Family guys.
Yeah.
Like, hi. And those gays are the ones that get gay bashed. And they get... I'm not laughing at gay bashing. I'm just laughing
They're the
at...
ones that get picked on.
Yeah, they're the ones that get picked on. The Bears don't.
Because it's like they want to be so civilized that it's like almost where they're like kind of still like in their shell.
Yeah.
They don't want to like fully...
Like, those are the ones that are like, hello! You know, for that, the Bears don't, and Adam Lambert's don't, because Adam Lambert's whole persona is that. So again, straight people are like, yeah, it's like Elton John.
Yeah. And it's even like, you take, the CNN correspondent, you take the CNN anchors, Don Lemon and Anderson Cooper, and you'd never know they were gay.
Yeah.
Like, I did not know Anderson Cooper. I didn't know Anderson Cooper was gay until 2011. I didn't know Don Lemon was gay till like last month. So it's like, so you're just kind of like, oh, either you're really good at hiding it, or you're.
Exactly.
Yeah,
So,
I don't know. How do you explain that?
I don't know. We'll see what Clay Aiken does. He might be too gay for, was it South Carolina?
North
Carolina. He might be too gay for North
I
Carolina.
think South Carolina is a blue state, isn't it? Or are they both red states? I thought South Carolina was blue.
It's funny because the Carolinas, you always, and Virginia, you always are like red states. But then in the last couple years, the last so and so years, some of those areas have been turning to where they would call them a purple state.
Yeah, like Texas being a purple state.
Yeah, where Texas could possibly get a Democratic governor.
Once they get Perry out of there, it'll be a whole different story.
But you look at Texas and it's like they get Ann Richards, a Democrat, then you get George Bush and Perry, and now they might go back to. It seems like they don't want a man a Democrat that's a man. They'll go for a Democrat
like
that's
Wendy
a woman.
Davis.
Yeah, so Wendy Davis has got a shot becoming the governor of Texas. So you'll have two Democratic governors of Texas, but they were women.
Yeah.
It's bizarre. But again,
Well, to the quasi defense of that, I think because in Texas, if you're a man and you're a Democrat, then that goes against the whole like Rick Perry kind of stance or the George Bush kind of stance, because like when you look at it, all those goofy guys, they're Republican, they're very like guns.
Yeah.
And this and that and that. And then when you have a man Democrat, it's like you're not manly enough. So it's like they rather have a woman because the way they look at it is the Democrats are more feminine and more of, you got to be a real man, you got to be a Republican, you're in the state of Texas, you're in the Lone Star State, we got guns.
You're right. And a woman is expected to be soft on some of those things. Like, you don't expect a woman to throw on cowboy boots and go out there. But Wendy Davis, they like them with they have to have that little toughness, and then they accept them. Like Ann Richards was tough.
Yeah.
And Wendy Davis is tough. I mean, she stood up there for, 18 hours with that filibuster. It's a big deal. And the way the Texas legislature works, they can't do the things that they do in the United States Senate with filibusters. Like the rules for for Texas, like they can't be near the podium. They can't lean on anything, and they can't just read out of. The other thing I didn't know, they can't just read books like Ted Cruz read Cat in the Hat and Dr. Seuss. In the Texas legislature, your filibuster and reading has to be pertaining to the topic.
Yeah.
It has to be. It can't just be, today I'm going to read from Charles Dickens. You actually have to read from the topic, and that's what Wendy Davis did. She read letters from women who wrote about their abortion stories. So She didn't have to try to make up things. She sat there with stacks and stacks of letters from women going, here's my story about why I had an abortion. And Wendy Davis just stood up there and read letter after letter. And there was nothing they could say because every one of those letters dealt with the topic of abortion, which was what this bill was. So, there it was. Well, we'll see what happens. Clay Aiken, extremely gay, running for Congress. So go to it, Clay.
All right. Oh, so I want to give the snapshot. The official pictures of George Clooney's wedding are now out.
Okay.
And People magazine, and then Vogue magazine is doing that whole like the big pictorial, like the big interview and the big, like our whole magazine is just gonna be this wedding.
About the Cloonster.
Yeah. So.
I wonder how much they paid the Cloons.
Probably millions of dollars.
Yeah, it had to be millions. You know what's funny? You think when you hear about like these weddings and people, they paid for the wedding, the pictures, and someone goes, why would someone like George Clooney, or why would they, who's got tons of money, why would they do that? Very simple. Because ultimately, it pays for the wedding.
Yeah.
So like when people goes, we'll pay $3 million for the rights to do all the pictures. Clooney and them are like, perfect. I'm going to use that $3 million to pay for my wedding. Because ultimately, a wedding is still a wedding. It's not like spending $50 million on a house. A wedding is not an investment. Chances are, unless you are one of the few, your wedding is going to end in a divorce, and it's going to cost you millions of dollars. So ultimately, a wedding is not like, I just bought this house, I just bought this property, I just bought these things. So when a guy like George Clooney or Brad Pitt go, hey, you'll give us $3-4 million for our wedding pictures, no problem. Because then for them it's like, at least if I get divorced 15 years later, I don't have to feel so bad because the wedding didn't cost me anything. It's a shitty, creepy thing to say, but why else would celebrities who are worth hundreds of millions of dollars have their entire wedding plastered in People magazine? And it's not like George Clooney is one of those Kardashian whores that are like, hey, I'm going to this restaurant, TMZ, come and cover me, and I'll pretend I didn't call you. Clooney's not like that. He fucking spends a lot of time overseas to get away from the paparazzi. Same thing with Johnny Depp, people like that. So the notion that he's looking for attention is kind of silly. They do this to pay for the wedding.
And also, because I want to know, I don't know if anybody else want to know, and no one probably really cared, but she wore Oscar de la Renta. That was her dress. Because
is that a big deal?
Yeah, he's like one of the biggest designers ever.
Looking at it right now,
like Versace.
The dress and Clooney and the cover of People.
Her dress is really pretty.
All right, so you got that picture and you got that news. What else is part of that?
So, the reason why Brad Pitt and Ben Affleck were not at the wedding.
God damn it!
Brad Pitt was actually doing it. He's doing these international movies with Angelina Jolie. So they're like traveling throughout, internationally doing different like movies and stuff. And then Ben Affleck was out in New York City promoting Gone Girl. That's why they were not at the wedding. Which, I mean, I think Brad Pitt should have like held the fort down and been like, no, let's go next week because I am the best man. Because Brad Pitt would have been the best man. You know what?
Truthfully, they must not be that close with the Cloonster because you can't leave what you're doing for 2 days. It's not like Clooney. I'm sure it wasn't as if Clooney called them up and said, "Hey Ben, I want you to come to my wedding. When is it? Tuesday. Oh wow, I have press." You got to imagine that if they were close, they would have known weeks and weeks in advance. Hey, this is my wedding date. And then when Ben Affleck was promoting that movie, he would have told somebody, I got a personal thing to attend to on this day, I can't go. And those guys all have enough money that if what they were doing was that important, they could have chartered an airplane
Yep.
that flew them in to where where George Clooney was getting married, did their thing, showed up, paid their respect, got on the plane, and darted back to wherever they were going. So they must not be as close to the Cloonster as we all thought. Yeah.
As we all see.
Yeah, just because they were in movies together, they must not be that close.
Now, speaking of Brad Pitt, did you know how he's doing that? He has that new movie Fury coming out, which
Yes.
we're gonna go see because it looks awesome.
Yes.
Him and Shia LaBeouf got into a beef with this new actor's name is Scott Eastwood.
Which is Clint Eastwood's son.
That's what I was thinking. I was
Yeah.
like, I
It's
think
Clint
that's
Eastwood's son.
now.
It's a young upstart
So
actor.
Scott had like juice in his mouth and he kept spitting, like, and they're in the tanks and they're
Yeah.
on sets, they're on the tanks.
Yeah,
And
tobacco juice.
Scott kept spitting out the juice. And Brad and Shia like went off on him and was like, why are you spitting the juice everywhere? That's fucking wrong, that's disrespectful, you're disrespecting our house, you're disrespecting the set, you're disrespecting everything. And like went off on the kid. And like Eastwood's like, and then Brad did an interview with British GQ and talked about it. When he got back home, he looked at the script and realized that was all part of the script. And he was like, I was like telling Angelina, like, I feel like a dick. Like,
That's so funny.
so yeah, so he like went off.
He must have had to call him up and be like, hey, I just want to tell you, I'm sorry that I was yelling at you about spitting the tobacco juice all over the tank. I didn't realize the script called for that.
Yeah.
You were just
Doing what
what
they
you were
instructed.
supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Clint Eastwood. Yeah, when I heard that, I had. If you're the son of Clint Eastwood, one would imagine that you are not a douche.
Right.
Believe it or not, just because Clint Eastwood is such the professional actor. He's so like, acting
Like, it's Clint
extraordinary.
Eastwood.
Yeah,
You wanna be
like
with him.
Clint Eastwood is the quintessential man's man of acting. Like, this is what you do. This is how you do it. You don't act like a dick. You just don't do it. So you got to imagine the son is just like that, especially with a name like Eastwood.
Yeah.
He didn't do a Emilio Estevez, or I should say Charlie Sheen, where they change names or they do things where people don't know who they are,
Yeah.
or they go, "You're Emilio Estevez. Your dad's Charlie Sheen. Why don't you have to?" He was like, "I'm Eastwood. My dad's Clint."
Dude, you gotta imagine that's pretty dope. Be like, my dad's like the ultimate
Oh, yeah.
ultimate actor. My dad's Clint Eastwood.
What do you think of that?
People will be like, Gran Torino? Yeah. Exactly. Like, dies.
Dirty Harry? Whoa. Yeah, Clint Eastwood. So yeah, what's his name? First name?
Scott.
Scott Eastwood.
Yeah.
Isn't that funny? He's Scott Eastwood. And then James Caan's kid's name is Scott Caan.
I guess Scott's a really popular
Because Scott's
name.
a big Hollywood, name.
Big kid's name. Probably
Yeah.
in that little, like, age group.
This must be Eastwood's first big movie.
Yeah, because they say newbie actor.
Yeah.
Like, new. But then Brad Pitt also says that Shia LaBeouf is probably one of the greatest actors that he's ever worked with. Like, the kid is, like, really good, and he, like, really takes in the character. And I'm just like, well, anybody can tell you that. I mean,
Yeah.
for how crazy Shia LaBeouf is, the kid is a dope actor.
Yeah, I mean, and the funny thing is,
And then he's fun to work with, as they say, too.
people say that he really is a a actor's actor. Like, he gets into the role. If the role calls for him to drink, he'll drink. I mean, he does like all the old school acting stuff that you hear Brando did, or De Niro. Like,
Yeah.
you know, oh, De Niro, the role calls for you to weigh 280 pounds, and he's like, give me 3 months and I'll weigh 280 pounds. And all of a sudden, 2-3 months later, he comes back and they're like, dude, you really gained the weight. He's like, yeah, man, gotta be the part. They say that Shia does that to the T. And what's funny, Catherine, my love, is, and I'm sure Ben Affleck and Matt Damon and the people at HBO don't get any credit for it, because I haven't heard in years. I've never heard anybody talk about it, but HBO did a 10-part series called Green Light, or Project Greenlight, I think it was called.
Oh, the Affleck Damon thing.
Yeah, and it was all about making a movie and giving an unknown director a chance to make a movie. It was like a competition.
Okay,
And HBO documented it, and it was like a really big thing. Shia was the star of the goddamn movie, and it shows him in the auditions, him and all these other actors. And when they settled on Shia, it shows Ben Affleck and them talking, going, he's good. He's gonna be really good. He was a little kid.
Yeah.
He was like a little fucking kid. And when I say little kid, he was like, I think he was like 12 years old or 13 years old.
So it was probably during his Even Stevens days when he did that, because remember, that's how he started. He did Even Stevens, which was a TV show about the Stevens family, and it was on Disney, and it was like,
Yes.
it was him, and it was all about
Yes,
his family.
it was
It
that.
was really funny, and he was like this adventure kid, and he would always get into
Yes,
trouble and
it
like
was.
fix at the end.
Because it shows, yep, and I think they even talked about that he did a Disney thing. And because he shows up with his mom.
Oh.
And his mom is like this hippie chick, old hippie lady. And she would, take him on the sets and stuff. And yes, it was right after the Disney, because they have the cameras with him and he's out to dinner with his mom. And a little girl with her parents come up to get his autograph from Disney, from a thing he did Disney, and they say, "Oh, I loved you on whatever the Disney thing was."
Yeah.
So he was in the Project Greenlight, and you know who else was in it? And it's funny, and they touted him as this next really big actor, and he plays his dad. You know Veep. You know the guy that plays Ken, who is in
the
love
one
with the
that's
black
Sue?
girl?
Yeah.
And he's like the chief of the. He plays Shila's dad, and he auditions for the role, and they're like, "We're gonna hire him, and he's really good, and this was, I don't know what, 10 years ago this series was. I mean, it was pre me going to jail, but yeah, Project Greenlight. It was really good.
I knew about it because it was like the big hype.
Yeah, it was
back
really
then.
it was really good.
But yeah, Shia LaBeouf was actually contracted with Disney for a while because he did Holes. Right, he did that movie Holes, and he did a bunch of others. He was contracted with them, and it all started with Even Stevens, and then it's just so funny because it's like the wheelchair Jimmy type person. It's like, dude, I watched you when I was like 14 years old. When you're like, I wasn't 14 when I was watching Even Stevens. I was 14 watching Degrassi. But I mean, you gotta think when I'm like between 7 and 11 years old, watching Disney and then watching Even Stevens like every Saturday morning, and then seeing him with the paper bag over his head saying, "I'm done acting," or "I'm a real actor," you're kind of get like, dude, I remember you when you're like 12 years old doing Even Stevens. Okay.
Yeah, he, and you wonder if he's really as crazy as it's perceived, with him getting in all these little trouble, these troubles, or if a good portion of it is part of this persona he puts out there to be this dangerous style actor, to be this
Like
this,
a Johnny Depp.
yeah,
person.
to be this guy,
Colin Farrell
or
Davis.
Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah.
Somebody that people go, he's such an awesome actor, and he's so into his role. We're cool with him acting like a goofball. Because remember, Transformers, he got into that car accident
Yeah.
and messed up his hand. And he had his hand all taped up in a couple of the scenes of Transformers. I mean, that was all him goofing around. It wasn't him out nonchalantly for a drive and a drunk driver hit him. Like, he was out goofing around and got into that accident. So you wonder if it's a little of both. If he's a little out of control, but also he does stuff to keep the hype going.
This is a weird comparison, but it's like the Manziel of acting. It's like, let him fuck up all he wants, but as long as he shows up and he's good and he can get the job done, that's all that matters. Because it all, like, his career would be failing if Brad Pitt was out there saying he came to work drunk, always messed up the lines, always forgot the lines, always did this, but it's like, no, it's like, this kid, when he's not working, he's like, I'm not going to sit around in my $250,000 like month house in Beverly Hills and just chill up here. I'm going to go out and have some fun because I'm 27 years old and I can fucking do that.
And every movie he's in, he's good. He's just he is a good actor. You could tell he's going to be like one of those guys as he gets older that are in really huge movies, and he's gonna wind up winning awards because he's so young now. He's gonna be one of those guys as he gets older that will be in those movies, those De Niro style movies and you watch. Scorsese will use him. He'll get it. He's a little wild, but like you said, when you have Brad Pitt going, hey, he was awesome with me on my set and was nothing but joy. That's
huge.
Yeah,
because that opens up the doors to a whole other thing. Because if you have Brad Pitt, who's one of like the all-time greatest actors ever, saying that about you, that's pretty big. That's good. It's good.
All right. Well, there's Shia LaBeouf, Eastwood, and Brad Pitt. Rock on, guys. Rock on.
Oh, I see that. Okay. So, Blake Shelton, the guy from The Voice, the country singer, and his wife, Miranda Lambert, who's also a really big country singer, they're rumored to be getting divorced. Now, I actually mentioned it to you before, and I was like, I think it's something to do with The Voice. Well, I think it has something to do with the fact that he cheats on her whenever he does The Voice. So
with like contestants or just
who knows?
whoever, just
whatever pussy he
whatever's
can get.
pussy is just floating around, paying attention to him. Because to me, he's not that he's an ugly guy, but he's just like an average.
He to me looks like another typical country singer.
Yeah, I was gonna say just an average. Like he's not really in shape, so you can tell he's probably got a shitty body.
Yeah.
It's not like he's big and muscular. He's just, I don't know, it's just like you said, he's like a Toby Keith looking dude.
I mean, I was gonna say Garth Brooks.
Oh, that's better, you're right, Garth Brooks.
Is very kind of like plain looking, but yeah,
plain
it's like,
doughy looking.
But it's like, dude, it's Garth Brooks, like.
I know. Alright, so go ahead.
So basically the thing is he did an interview on Ellen DeGeneres' show. And Ellen asked, are you and Miranda gonna have a family? Are you gonna like, kind of like start a family? And he goes, no. And like, he says no, I'm not. No, I don't want that. And it totally has fucked with Miranda. Like ever since then, she's been like super pissed off and like very hurt because her best friend's Carrie Underwood, who just had a baby, and her whole thing was, well, I wanted mine and my best friend's kids to grow up and be best friends and everything, and now it's kind of like, what the hell? What the fuck is going on? And so basically, Miranda Lambert has given the ultimatum of, like, you either stop cheating on me, you have a baby with me, or I'm gonna file for a divorce. And he's now in like this reconsideration of maybe having a baby.
Now, she was on American Idol?
I don't think Carrie Underwood was on American
No,
Idol.
I know that, but
I
Lambert girl, I just know that. Why do I know that?
Lambert was kind of, I don't know. I know
Alright,
she
well,
stepped into
whatever.
the scene. I know she stepped into the scene and became one of the biggest country singers because I love her. I listen to her all the time. She's awesome.
How long have her and Blake Shelton been together?
They've been together since '06, but married for 3 years.
Got it. Alright, well.
So, a while.
Lambert, Shelton, they might have a kid, they might get a divorce, they might, who knows? We'll see what happens with them. But I watch The Voice once in a while, and he definitely is a goofy dude.
It just shows you.
Goofy.
It just shows you how like country singers don't really work out unless you're like Trace Adkins, who's like 80, 100 years old and's been doing country since he was like 1, and he's like this big. He's like. Rawr.
Well, I think inherently
Or unless you're
country
you're from the
singers
South.
are just they're just goof. I mean, let's put it this way: if you take away the fact that they play music, they're guys that are from the country. They're from the South. When do you ever really want to engage in anything more with somebody from the South than you have to? I mean, they all are kind of dim-witted. If you take away the personality of like, play music, and they play something, you're like, it's so awesome. If that's all, you take that away and they're like, hey, you want to go to see some race car, or go to the county fair and watch a pig rodeo? We'll feel like, nah, bro.
Pig rodeo.
Yeah.
Yes.
You're like,
I want to go to a pig rodeo.
You're like, I'm cool, bro.
That's where, I wonder if the rodeo's in town in January. Because I was going to say, whenever we go out to Texas, I should take you to the rodeo, but it doesn't even start to the stock show. The stock show's not till January.
I mean, look at, what's her name? The girl that has sex with everybody and no one wants to be with her.
Taylor Swift?
Yeah. Look at her. If it wasn't for her singing, she'd be like some wacky, crazy girl
Slut.
that, like, wacky, crazy, slutty girl that be
She
in
could do
porn.
porn.
Yeah, she'd be in porn. She'd be that.
I think, like, the girls are definitely prettier than the guys in country music. Like, even, like, the old ones, like, Trisha Yeargood.
Trisha Yearwood.
Yeah, that one that's very Garth Brooks, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think,
Like, even though she's older, she's still attractive.
well, I think Faith
And then
Hill's
Faith- yeah.
attractive
Oh,
for an
she's-
older woman.
Oh, yeah. And then, you got Carrie Underwood, who I think is super hot. Super hot. I said sexy and hot at the same time. But I think the only cute guys in country is, like, Josh Turner and
know
Luke
who that
Bryan and Billy Cunningham. Those are like the only 3
Ray
guys.
Cyrus.
Ew, what? So yeah, speaking of country music, one more country story. If anybody listens to them, this guy's old. His name's George Jones, but he passed away last year. He's an old country singer. He has a George Jones Museum in Nashville, downtown Nashville, Tennessee. Now,
Yeah.
that opens up this fall.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a restaurant in there.
Oh.
There's gift shops in there.
Oh.
There's a music venue in there. There's event halls in there. And there is lots and lots and lots of memorabilia of George Jones.
Wow.
Oh, and 2 of his songs have been granted Rolling Stone's saddest country songs of all time, and it is The Grand Tour and He Stopped Loving Her Today.
Oh, wow.
So yes, that's Mr. George Jones.
Okay. Well,
So if you like country music, like you're older and you like country music and you like George Jones, this fall, his museum. Who's ready for sports news?
I'm ready for some football.
All right, Michael Phelps was arrested
Well, he's not football,
Tuesday
he's a
morning.
swimmer.
I said sports news, you said football.
I know. I was
Do you want football? I can go back. I mean, this whole
no,
page is...
I was just.
Okay, so Michael Phelps was arrested for DUI
Tell everybody
in
who Michael
Baltimore.
Phelps is.
He is... If you are in America and you don't know who Michael Phelps is, then you should just move out of the country, because he won a gold medal for America in the swimming competition.
Probably I would say
8
next
gold
to
medals.
Greg Louganis, he's probably the most famous swimmer that we've ever had.
And he's always in the headlines. I mean, hello, he did smoke tons of pot and got busted for it. So there's somehow everyone in America knows who Michael Phelps is.
Yes.
There's just no doubt about that.
Yes.
Especially since the Olympics come on every 4 years, so you kind of have to know who's on our side, on our team, on our side.
On our side.
On our side.
I like that.
Our
On our
team.
side. On our war side.
But yeah, so he was arrested in Baltimore. He was going down the Fort McHenry Tunnel, which is on Interstate 95, at 84 miles per hour in a 45 miles per hour zone. And he got charged with DUI, excessive speed, and crossing double lane lines.
Wow.
This morning.
Not good. So,
So Michael Phelps arrested. Also, speaking of trials, the Cardinals running back, Jonathan Dwyer,
yes.
the one that beat his wife,
Yep.
he has officially been charged with 8 misdemeanors that include criminal assault, aggravated assault, and disorderly conduct. October 6th, he has a status conference, and so that's his charges. So he's officially been you're possibly gonna face jail time. So be prepared.
Wow. So there you go. Arizona. And he's still on the team. They haven't released him. I bet you with this coming out, I bet you he gets booed. Because now he's charged and he's not a starter.
Yeah.
He's not somebody that, right now, Arizona's first place. They're kicking ass. They don't need him. And why? Again, this is just gonna get the headlines more because he's officially charged now. So why even keep him? By the end of the week, he'll be gone. Mark my words, he'll be gone.
So, the worst way somebody can be possibly fired is through a text message. The Raiders head coach, Dennis Allen, got a text message from the owner, Mark Davis, after the horrific loss in London. They were the team that played in London.
Yes.
And this past Sunday. And in the text, I had a picture of the text.
He said, "You suck."
He's like, hey man, you're fired. with like a bunch of little fire emojis.
No, it isn't.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I can't believe that. Hey man, you're fired. With fired emojis, I'm looking at it. Okay. That's a hell of a way to get fired.
Yeah. Oh, and guess who they're thinking about bringing back as their head coach?
I know. Chucky!
Yes! Yes, that is their first,
John Gruden.
It just came out, the whole, kind of quasi-announcement came out that, this is who they're looking at, because they're he was a great coach for us in the 90s, and then when we went to Super Bowl with the Bucks, they beat us, he's amazing, so they're
And the only reason he left was because him and Al Davis couldn't get along.
Yeah.
And
now
Al Davis is gone, and the son is there, and the son tried to mediate between Al Davis and John Gruden, but couldn't make it happen. So they're saying that Gruden could go back there. The Raiders would have to pay him a shitload of money, which Gruden has already put word out, not just to them, but to teams that talked about wanting him. He's always said, hey, I get paid good from ESPN. I have a cush job. I'm there, announcing a game once a week. In order to come back, I guess they said he wants a shitload of money. He wants a good quarterback. He said he has to have a good quarterback, not just somebody that can work it out. He needs a Peyton Manning style quarterback or a young quarterback.
Like Andrew Luck.
That's gonna be good. Not hopefully he'll be good, but somebody that that they go, this guy is gonna be fucking great. And he wants basically a second in command that he is like brothers in arms with, meaning somebody that will carry out his instructions when he's busy or he's not around, almost like a assistant coach. And he has a couple guys that he's that close with that he wants to bring in. See, a lot of these teams have their own people, their own person that they're like, well, no, we're hiring the coach. We're not letting you hire this person and that person. And Gruden's like, nope, I need a quarterback, and I need money, and I need this guy. And he's got 3 guys on his list that work with him. Guys that when he coaches, are with him.
Yeah.
And he goes, gotta hire him. So they say it could possibly happen that Gruden goes to Oakland. Plus, it would be big for Oakland and their new stadium deal. Because Gruden is that big of a name that the city...
he'll be like, I want a new stadium.
Well, yeah, well, that the people would be like, all right. Remember, when you're laying out $1 billion for a stadium to a team that sucks, people don't like that. Because remember, you got to get that money from the city.
Yeah.
The city's got to prove it. Taxpayers.
Yeah.
Well, when all of a sudden taxpayers go, we're bringing fucking Chucky back, then everybody gets excited. If it's
because it's a good coach,
yeah,
which leads to a good team, which
yeah.
leads to playoffs and tickets
exactly.
and all that fun stuff.
And when there's a coach that nobody's heard of and they lose every fucking game, fans and even city officials, people get annoyed. But
where did this Dennis Allen guy come from?
I think he came from the college ranks.
Man.
Raiders always hired shitty coaches. Gruden was the only good thing. They've always hired kind of shitty coaches. They really have. And I think a lot of it is because of Al Davis. Because Al Davis was the type of owner that wanted to control. I mean, Al Davis was notorious as being a worse owner than Jerry Jones when it comes to control. Meaning, if Al Davis wanted a certain play run, he'd call down to the field. Like he would call and make the thing and tell the coach, I want to see this play. And the coaches would be like, are you fucking serious? That's the type of person Al Davis was. He would demand certain players to play. What does he know except what he feels in his gut? That's the type of owner he was. So a lot of times he wouldn't bring in a coach that would challenge him. It's kind of like the whole issue with Jerry Jones and the fact that Jerry Jones never has had a winning team since he had Jimmy Johnson. Jimmy Johnson challenged him, and Jerry Jones fired Jimmy Johnson. They couldn't get along, even though they won those Super Bowls. To the point where Jimmy Johnson or Jerry Jones won't even put Jimmy Johnson in the Dallas Cowboy Hall of Fame, in the Stadium Hall of Fame there, because by doing that, Jerry Jones has to give Jimmy Johnson credit for those Super Bowls. Jerry Jones likes to take credit as being the architect of that Super Bowl run. He likes to say, I drafted Troy Aikman. I drafted all these players. I'm the one that did this. So Jerry Jones, since then, has never had any coaches that challenged him. He had Wade Phillips, which is shit. North Turner, shit. And now he's got this kid, Jason Garrett. Shit. He doesn't have a coach in there that says, I'm the coach, you're the owner, you sit and watch what we do, like Belichick.
Yeah.
You think Robert Kraft tells Belichick what to do? He sits in that press box. That's it. And yeah, the Patriots got their asses kicked last night, but at the end of the day, Patriots been one of the most successful franchises in the past 10, 15 years. And Robert Kraft ain't gonna tell Belichick, hey man, we lost bad last night. I want this guy to play, I want that guy to play. Belichick's like, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, that was the thing too, to lead into this. So we know that the Patriots brutally lost.
Yes.
41-14 against
Hammered.
the Chiefs. Brady got put out in the fourth quarter, so he sat on the bench. And then after the game, during their little press conference that they do, and people ask questions, Belichick was asked, will the quarterback situation be evaluated for next week? And meaning, are you going to replace Brady? And Belichick just gave the interview this look, laughed it off and said, no. And it's like, why would anybody bench Brady anyways? And, it's like, why would you bench him for a rookie? That's the whole point.
No
it's
sense.
That's horrible.
They only took Brady out of the game last night because it was 7 minutes left in the fourth quarter, and they were losing 41-7 at the time. Why keep Tom Brady in there and risk him getting hurt, and then your season is really fucked?
Yeah.
It's like you pull him out, let the rookie play, let him go out and play. Big deal. That's normally what you do in the NFL. If it was the Denver Broncos and the Broncos were losing 41-7 and there was 7 minutes left in the fourth, they would have pulled Peyton Manning. They would have pulled a 40-year-old Peyton Manning out
Didn't
of the
they
game.
do that during the Super Bowl? They kept him in the whole game, huh? Didn't they? It was 30-something to 8.
I don't even remember. They kept him in the whole time. But that happens a lot. They take out the starter. When a game gets out of hand like that, they take out the starter. And that type of shit happens. You can't look at one game, and judge how a team is, because that type of shit happens.
Yeah.
That type of shit happens. You get a couple bad breaks on calls, you get a fumble, and before you know it, you're down 4 touchdowns, and you're like, what just happened? And it just kind of steamrolls from there. It happens.
every good quarterback has at least one bad game. I mean, as long as they're not 0-4 like the Raiders, it's okay. They're 2-2.
Yeah.
They will get it 'cause they'll be in playoffs because that's what they do.
Plus, the division they're in is not. I mean, the division is Buffalo, the Jets, and Miami. I mean, really, you're not dealing. It's not like they're competing against Seattle and Arizona and 49ers.
Yeah.
It's not like they're in the stacked division where it's like, oh my God. I mean, Buffalo is putting Kyle Orton in this week to start.
Are you excited?
Yeah, but Kyle Orton, it's not like we're talking about Peyton Manning.
You're talking
It's
about
fucking
someone
Kyle
who's
Orton.
with the Bears.
Yeah, you're talking about a guy that got, that got let go by the Bears, went to the Cowboys. I mean, again, it's not like you're dealing with Peyton Manning. It's better, though, than I think E.J. Manuel.
Yeah.
And Jets. Jets have a horrible quarterback. And, what the fuck is his name? I can't remember his name, but he's horrible. They need to put Michael Vick in. So, Miami, I think, looks decent.
They look decent.
So, anyways, we'll see what happens.
So the Colts safety, LaRon Landry, is suspended for violating the NFL's performance-enhancing drug policy. This guy is just huge.
Look how jacked up he is.
It's like, dude, it's very obvious that you're just fucking juicing. I was looking at the pictures, and I'm just like, that guy looks like he is going to explode. Like, there's pictures of him in the gym, and he's like sweating. I'm like, he looks like Brock Lesnar. It's just like, dude, what is wrong with you? Like, these guys, I swear, it always like freaks me out because I always think they're like gonna like burst.
Oh, that's so funny.
Yeah, he's suspended for a month.
Yeah, well, he's jacked.
I guess a month, that means the whole thing's out of your system, right?
Well, they don't give a shit about that. That's not the prerequisite. They just suspend you because you're taking drugs. That's not even a consideration of it being out of your system. Chances are this kid had it in his system. He just didn't stop and have his system flushed out, because a lot of these guys are juicing.
There's ways
but they know
to
how
cheat that,
they know how to stop a cycle and start a cycle. They know all those things. It's just a lot of times when things like this happen, it gets caught. They fuck up. They're like, fuck, I thought it was all out of my blood.
I wonder if Brian Urlacher juiced. It's because that guy was still big. Like, it's like, I don't know, because it's just like, I feel like it's really hard to like just do it. Like, because that gaining muscle takes a while to do. Especially when you're in a sport like this, and it's just like, so basically every single day they're in the gym for 4 hours just fucking pumping with no juice. Like, to me, I just feel like at some point they take it. I don't know.
Yeah, well, they do.
And I'm just always like, how do you go around it? Like, how are you able to, like, I guess because you get
They go
smart
off
with
cycles, it goes out of their system. That's what I said. A lot of times when this happens, it's not like these guys are having a drug test on a Monday and Sunday night they're injecting themselves with juice. They've already been clean, but it's just not all out of their system. And they're like, fuck, still in my system. They're still on, the cycle hasn't gotten out of their system. And that's the issue. It's not like they're juicing right up to the end. Same thing with when they get hit for drugs. And it's like, oh, he had cocaine in his he failed his cocaine test. It's not like the night before they were doing blow. They did blow, and the shit was somehow still in their fucking system because it didn't cycle out. A lot of those players are not that stupid to be doing stuff the night before they're supposed to take a test.
Yeah.
So, because a lot of them, the way they have the rules in place for drug testing and stuff, unless they're part of the program, unless they've already failed tests, where now it's random spot tests, they know when their tests are coming. They get tested twice, and one during this period and one during that period. They don't know the exact day per se, but they know, hey, in the off season, in this period of time between X a month and this month, I have testing, and between this and this. That way, they know, okay, I'm pretty 99.9% sure that this 4-month period, I'm not going to get drug tested, so I can get fucked up. Now, if they're in the program where they've already failed their test once, then it's a spot test.
Yeah.
So then they could just show up and go, hey, we want a test. But if you have never failed, you're cool. You could when tests are, and then you just stay clean for that period of time. Because if you're not in the program, Mansell and these guys, they party.
Yeah.
If they're not in the program where they've failed and they're in the off season and they got 3, 4, 5 months, they party. They party. But if you're in the program, you can't party because they can test you randomly
Just
at
call
any
you
time.
up.
Yep. Call you up and say, come on in for a test.
Sucks.
That's life.
Yeah.
Give it to me. What else you got?
Our last and final story.
Last and final story. Drum roll, please.
The point guard for the Utah Jazz basketball, Trey Burke. I totally just did the whoosh.
That was good. I like you.
It's kind of funny because the team is mad at him because he took naked pictures of himself and sent them and
To who?
I don't know.
Whoever?
Yeah. Well, it's who are these girls sending their pictures to? And so they're really mad at him about that, and they're like, "Why are you sending naked pictures?" And he's like, "Dude, I was 19 years old. Give me a break. He's 21 right now, And he's like,
Sending dick pics. Of
Yeah.
him
yeah, and he's like, I don't know. I'm sorry, guys. And he gave an apology. So I'm sorry for my family for the embarrassment. I'm sorry to the Miller family because the people who own Utah Jazz are listening to Miller. And the general manager Dennis Lindsay, he's very disappointed about it. He's like we're gonna have the final judgment day later. It's why does it really matter? I mean, why are you throwing a hissy fit? I mean,
maybe
what does he have a little pinky dick for a big black guy?
No,
I mean, I don't know.
Maybe they're really over the top.
Was he Hope Solo and spreading
Yeah,
his ass?
he's spreading his ass.
His dick is just hello.
He's spreading his asshole and's got his pinky in his dick head.
Yeah, because the pictures, the naked pictures surfaced today. I'm like, what girl did you piss off?
He's fucking jerking off in his hand. He's eating it.
Yeah, it's what? What is going on here?
They're so upset. He's got tying his dick in knots on his balls, doing fucking puppetry of the penis. Yeah.
Horrific.
Oh, that's comedy. Alright, well, what's his name?
Trey Burke.
Alright, Trey Burke. Well, don't do that again. Don't send naked pictures of your penis to girls anymore. Enough. Alright, is that it, baby?
That is it, my love.
Alright, Katie Summers, thank you for the news of the day. It was great.
Yeah.
It was a very informative news session. I must say that we got a lot of stories in.
We
got
did,
a lot
yes.
of interesting tidbits. So tell everybody goodbye.
Au revoir.
And I am Rob Black. This is the Rob Black Show. We'll be back tomorrow at 11 a.m. for more fun, for more excitement, and for more news right here. So go to therobblackshow.com, go to zerofilter.com, and don't forget to click on the cover of Drink the Kool-Aid, which is the newest book that we have, and it's in paperback form, and it comes with a DVD, which is a documentary about my court case and my battles with the United States government and everything that transpired. It has Bill Maher in it. It has Larry Flint in it. It has Mary Beth Buchanan. It has Senator Bromback, Orrin Hatch. It's full of people, and you will enjoy it. And it's absolutely free when you get Drink the Kool-Aid. So, I am Rob Black. I will see you tomorrow at 11 a.m. and have a good